Welcome back to the Pitstop podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the start of the summer break, and as we promised them, guests.
Loads of guests.
And we're starting off with a big one.
Yeah, we're kicking it off strong, to be honest with you, mate. Who have we got with us today?
Well, we'll let him introduce himself so he can tell you all what he does, but we have got Mr. Brad Skanes.
Woohoo!
Hi guys.
Thank you very much for being here. Now,
appreciate it.
this is a special guest because he's come straight from the race,
Yeah, flew in.
working with a very special someone at the race as well. What's that all about? What'd you get up to this weekend?
Yeah, so I'm the performance coach for Max Verstappen.
Oh, that sounds cool, Evan.
That's pretty
Say
sick. That's
I'm
pretty
sat
sick,
with a Red
John.
Bull top. You got Max Verstappen behind you.
I was just going through my wardrobe looking for t-shirts, and all it was like a load of Ferrari tops. I was like, shh, we shouldn't put them on.
Yeah, maybe I'll leave now.
How are you, brother?
Yeah, all good. Yeah, looking forward to a couple of weeks off actually. So it's nice to just chill for a moment.
It's been a busy start of the year, first half of the year.
Yeah, it has been. Obviously, the races are all squashed together this year because they're finishing it early than what they normally would do.
Oh, are they? When does it normally finish?
So, well, the last 2 years we've gone into second week of December.
Yeah.
Traditionally, it finishes last weekend of November, first weekend of December.
Okay.
This year, we're like the 20th of November. So
Oh.
I think it was mainly because they wanted to finish before the Football World Cup.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that makes sense, because it's out in Qatar, isn't it?
Yeah.
it's
that
out
way.
Qatar, sharing TV viewings and stuff wouldn't be cool with it. So.
No. Wow, mad. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do? So you're Max Verstappen's performance coach.
Yeah, so every driver will have a titled performance coach, and they come from either like a physio background or a sports science background or a strength and conditioning background. So my background is as a physiotherapist. I'm also a strength and conditioning coach as well. And yeah, basically, manage his program from a physical and mental preparation for the season, for each race, and working through race weekends. So.
Blimey. And you were with him last season when he won the championship.
Yep.
So technically you trained a world champion.
Yeah, not my first actually, but
Oh, shit. Who else?
so not in motorsport, but I worked with Team GB and
wicked.
in gymnastics.
Oh,
and
nice.
Another Max Whitlock. We won world championships and Olympic gold medals. So.
Yeah.
Wow, look at you. Working with world champs left, right and centre.
Yeah, we try.
Which one's more strenuous, would you say, working with GB athlete or working with a motorsport athlete?
It's completely different.
Really?
If you take the pure physical nature of gymnastics, that is one of the most demanding sports in the entire world.
Yeah.
You take everything that comes with Formula One, the travel, the physical demands, the media, marketing, pressure, tension that sits around just Formula One itself, then that's, you don't find many sports like that. So.
Yeah, Formula One is definitely like for me, it feels like it's in its own league, just in terms of like logistics and everything that goes into it as well.
Yeah, this year we'll race in 22 different countries, and that's moving everything around to those 22 different countries, and in short space of time as well. So it's it's a hell of a setup.
Yeah. Are you predominantly focused on? So when you get there every week, your job is literally just Max.
Yes.
So you're not worried about anything. You're not carrying any bits of a car or anything.
No, I'm just carrying his bits.
You're just carrying his bits, yeah. Because we see you on the grid, and we see you always with Max. You're right there,
Yeah.
Got his stuff and talking to him every day. What is that like? Because ultimately, our audience want to know what it's like working with Max. Like, what's he like as a person? What's your friendship like with him?
Yeah, it's cool. And I always say you couldn't do this job if you weren't friends, because you do spend that much time together. You travel together, you're in hotels together. So you have to get on with the person you're working with.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. Really down to earth guy. Likes being at home, spending time with family and friends. We have a nice relationship in that we can go for a dinner, we can chat about the football, we can sit down and watch the football, play a bit of FIFA, but then
Who's better
also
at FIFA?
when
He loves FIFA.
let's put it this way, it took me 3 years to beat him, so
Oh, really?
but I have done that now, so
Ledge.
Unreal.
Does he have one of them setups for like a hotel? I've seen him where they have like
Yes.
the box and you get it out. Oh, no,
Yeah.
What's like in a like one of those containers that you can move on wheels?
They
Like,
are
you
the
open it
coolest.
up and it's
it's like a suitcase, lift it up, screens there ready to go.
That's sick.
It's pretty cool.
I heard that he actually plays like. It was one of those facts. This was like months ago now. When we first started, we were like quizzing each other, And one of the facts was like he just plays it before a race. Like a lot of the guys go through all of like the numbers and telemetry, or is that what it's called? But he's just playing Xbox. I don't know how true that is.
No, if before a race is the night before, you know, chilling in the hotel, then maybe. But yeah, definitely not a track and
track side.
Yeah,
imagine that the camera just pans around. Everyone else getting ready, just see him in the back playing FIFA.
So
rather than warming up, he's just on the control pad.
So how long have you been a part of the F1 for? Doing this job
as long as I've been with Max. So my first job in F1 was working with Max. Wow. So I'm in my third year.
That's not the first gig, is it? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And how do you get a job like that? So how do you go from being like a physio to doing it with the world champion?
Yeah, I think it's first off just, you know, being good at what you do, and then second off just having a bit of luck and knowing the right people. That's how it kind of worked for me. I was a physiotherapist working with Team GB, working with the gymnasts. I was working in a performance centre in London on Harley Street, and then obviously the job with Max had come up, and I knew a few people that were working in and around the F1 circuit. My name got mentioned, and then you just start to have a few conversations, and the rest is history. I flew out after the season finale in Abu Dhabi to Barcelona, so this was 2019 now. Met Max and his family in Barcelona at the circuit, where they were test driving some cars, and yeah, we just got on from there. Spent half a day with him. We chatted about a few things, talked about becoming world champion, and then
love it.
You know, he met with a few people, and it was down to him to decide. And I think it's like you said at the start. I think aside from what I'd done or the expertise that I had, because everybody coming to that meeting was going to have something about them in terms of what they did, but I just think the way we hit it off quite quickly.
Got on with him,
yeah, and also his family. You know, I was there with his dad, and you know, chatting away with them, and I think that was the reason I probably got the job.
Yeah,
I think having that relationship is like probably one of the most important things. You said it anyway, but just relating it back to Pitstop, the whole reason that we feel like this goes so well, what we're doing, is because we are two mates from school.
Yeah.
So when you have that connection and then you bring it into like work, it's just a recipe for the opposite to disaster.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know, you've got to have your boundaries at the same time. You know, you've got to know when it's time to switch on and focus, and actually, you know, we've got a race to get on with, or, you know, training in between races, or pre-season training when, you know, we've got work to do. We've got to get it done. But yeah, that's why it works so well. We know when we can switch off. We know when we need to switch on.
I think it might be quite interesting to look at, like, well, last weekend, so what you've just got back from. What's that like from you from the moment you get there until the moment you come home? Like, what was this weekend like? Because as we know, Max's qualifying was 10th, and then he won. So amazing weekend for Max. Perfect time to get you.
Hell of a drive.
Amazing drive. Impressive performance from the whole team. So to get you after that, like, what was it like start to finish this weekend? That would be great to.
Yeah, there was a real buzz on Sunday night. Everyone's gone into summer break thinking, you know, we're pretty happy at the moment.
Smashed it.
It's good. But yeah, so I would normally arrive on a Wednesday or Thursday.
Okay.
So weekend just gone, arrived Thursday morning, straight to track. For me, you know, I start speaking to everyone that's already there. So go to speak to the catering staff, make sure meal plans are all sorted for the weekend, check in with the engineers. You know, one of the main things for me is what's the weather going to be like, because we need to know what visors to put on the helmets and
so is that like your job? Will you do that stuff?
Yeah, I think the best way to describe what I do on a race weekend is I look after everything. So Max just has to drive the car.
Cool. So
all he has to focus on.
You're basically sorting all of Max's questions for him.
Yeah,
anything that he would need to know. Or
I set our meet times in the morning. I drive him into the track, sort out all his food, drink, sort out all his.
So you drive him from the hotel?
Yeah.
Does he judge your driving? Does he sit in the front seat and he's like, oh, you know what people are like when they're a passenger?
Yeah, maybe when I go the wrong way a few times. But
I'd love to see you and Max going around the wrong way.
Yeah, I remember when I turned up to testing in Barcelona in 2020, and they hand me the keys to the Aston Martin, and you know, I got to go and pick up Max. I'm like, What?
I'll take the long way.
yeah. But yeah, I was sweating a bit that day.
Yeah, I would be as well.
But this is it, he's such a relaxed guy. He doesn't care, we're just a couple of mates driving to the circuit. So
yeah,
it was all good. But yeah, you're driving a Formula One driver around. It's
that's really
interesting.
Cool.
That's crazy. What you just said there, that's like a different skill set in a way to you have like the physio side of things, but looking after everything else for him is like...
Yeah, it's almost like a PR management kind of...
Yeah. You basically just take care of everything. So the schedule, you liaise with the PR guys, the comms team as to when interviews are, or maybe take a few out because the day's looking a bit busy. And, it's everything that might impact the performance of him getting on track, really.
Yeah, for sure, because ultimately the goal for him there that weekend is to race, and your goal is to make sure he puts in the best performance.
Yeah, absolutely. So
you're there this weekend and you're sorting all the stuff out on Friday, and then there's practice.
Yeah, so that was Thursday, and then obviously back to the hotel Thursday night. Everything's set up ready to go for Friday.
Yeah.
If there's any niggles or injuries or anything needed, then that's when the physio skills come in. And then we get into Friday. Friday, starts much of the same. We drive into track, sort out the food and drink, and then he'll go off and do his commitments. He'll have the briefing meetings with the engineers, and then we're hitting the track. So 25 minutes before we're due in the garage, we start to warm up. Go through sort of 10 to 15 minute warm up, and then it's hopping in the car and away we go. So we warm up before every session, qualifying, race. Yeah. And then depending on the timings and stuff is how we plan our nutrition and hydration through the weekend.
We've seen some warm-ups on like Netflix or whatever when they do it. Is it mainly just like reaction stuff and stuff like that?
It's a combination. So Formula One is quite unique in that the physical demands kind of cover everything. So you need to warm up the entire body. So we always start off with some reaction games, maybe using some of the pods, other little reaction games, juggling or vision games where you're having to track and stuff there, or respond to commands. And then we get into something that raises the heart rate. So that might be running on the spot. I know a lot of drivers do a bit of skipping or kicking a football around or something like that. But you want to get the heart rate raised. Not so important for practices and stuff, but the moment when it comes to the start, that's when your heart rate is the highest, and then during difficult overtake maneuvers as well. So they need to feel that. And then you move into some activation work. So you want everything switched on in the lower body. So we might do some squats, some calf raises, some bridges. Coming into the upper body, we might do a bit of chest press with a band or pull aparts.
It's mad to hear it, because everything you're saying clearly works. Like, this is working on the guy that's winning. We should add some shit in there that isn't true, just so I'm saying it's probably that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Load of random stuff.
Yeah, Williams would be listening. Latifi's coach would be like,
you
oh,
see him
shit.
Start doing it.
That's what they're doing,
yeah. And then we get into the neck. So warming up the neck is obviously important. So, get the bands around the neck and
that's one of the most important.
Try and pull his head off. And
yeah, I can't believe that.
That's insane.
What we did? What
20 kilos, is it? Like when you're testing the neck and that?
Double that.
Yeah, that was 40. F2. That was F2.
Yeah, Ollie said he's doing 20, didn't he?
Yeah.
So in Formula One, roughly speaking, you need to push back 40 kilos. You need to push to the side between 35 to 40 kilos each side, and
That's
then going forwards, it's probably about 25 kilos because you're supported on the forwards. So.
And what's the reason for pulling back? Just because of the way the G-force is in the car? Is that the one
braking.
Most?
So when you brake, your head gets thrown forwards. So it's
of course.
The muscle there.
So it's
keep your head up,
isn't it?
Yeah. Whereas when you're accelerating, you're back into the back of the car anyway. So.
Do you train your neck like that?
So I did some filming, some videos of the neck exercises that we use. Mainly when we were apart during COVID. We were apart for a couple of months because no one could go anywhere, could they? So I was sending him some plans to work through, and I filmed a couple of the neck exercises, and I had neck pain for about a week after trying to do some of them. So they're tough. I mean, I can pull between 20-25 kilos to the side. I tried at the testing facility that we use, but again, had neck pain for about a week after.
So how do they do it week in, week out?
Just training.
Just train a lot.
Yeah, train a lot. So we build the neck during pre-season so that they're ready for testing. And then by the time you come out of testing, they've done a lot of laps, so the neck is sore, but it's like having a good pre-season workout on it. And then after the first couple of races, we don't really need to train neck again. We'll do a little bit during summer break just to feel it, get ready again. But the driving
so during the season, you don't need to, because obviously they're in the car every week.
They're in the car, so go around Barcelona, you're having 6 Gs 50 times. Then that's more than I can pull.
Have
you had the chance to ever get in a not maybe an F1 car, but any race car like that? Or?
Yeah, I think an F1 car I'd probably put in the wall straight away. So.
That's what we think as well.
But yeah, I was fortunate that I was able to be driven around the track by Max in a Porsche GT Cup car. So,
I bet that was sick.
Well, I couldn't decide whether I wanted to be sick or whether I was enjoying it.
Yeah, man. That's insane.
So, but yeah, looking back, it was phenomenal. Like, unbelievable. To see him driving and be in the car then. And it was wet as well. And
you're joking.
It was going around some of the corners. I'm sitting there thinking, he knows it's wet, doesn't he? Of course he does.
Yeah, he's one of the best drivers in the rain, man. So you're in good hands if you're with him.
Yeah. No, it was super fun. Wow. Yeah, that was in Portimao as well, so it's a pretty cool track.
Wow.
Where's that?
Portugal.
Oh, right.
So we actually raced there the last 2 years, but they filled the gaps with some of the COVID.
I thought it was normally on the calendar.
Yeah, it was just a gap filler.
Okay.
But it was a really, really cool track.
Yeah.
Nightmare to get in and out of with traffic, but nice track and nice area. So.
Yeah. So do you usually drive into the races? Do you ever take like a helicopter?
No, we drive. Yeah, we're always being.
I find it weird that thought though, that like someone in the car in front of me could just be like you with the world champion like on a normal road.
You'd see it's got Red Bull Racing down the side of the car. So.
Has it?
You'd know.
I'm gonna look out for it.
Got Max Verstappen plastered along the side of it.
Yeah, no, we're driving Hondas at the moment because we're still linked with Hondas. So we've got the Type Rs.
I'm wearing a top that's got Honda on it. It's a couple of years old though.
Yeah,
Red Bull, bit old.
Yeah,
got Aston Martin on it.
Got Aston Martin on it as well, yeah.
Horner had a word with you about that.
Yeah, Horner did. He told me it was old. Yeah. If only we knew someone at Red Bull that could get us some.
Yeah, that'd be handy.
Because it's not just the fitness though. Like it's so mental, I guess. Like you have to be in their head and understand how they're feeling when they're happy, when they're sad, when things are going on.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
So on like Saturday, after obviously the Red Bull guys wouldn't have been happy with that qualifying. They made up for it on Sunday. They were buzzing about it. But on Saturday, when Max gets out that car and he's 10th, what's your job straight away? Like when he gets out and talks to you, like what are you thinking at that point?
Yeah, keep him away from any media so he doesn't say anything stupid.
Yeah. That's why he's my favourite driver though. I love Max. So I can just imagine him in his head being wanting to say something.
That brings me on to like we were watching the Senna documentary.
Okay.
And like they obviously didn't have that shit back in the day. They would go on camera and just say what they wanted.
Yeah.
See, I like that.
Yeah.
I actually prefer that. I actually think the sport, if it had a driver that did that now, would take it to the next level. I know they have to be clean sponsors, brands and that, but I genuinely think
too much now, isn't it?
It's such a shame because Max would probably
Max
be the one.
Max would be the perfect one, man. He's just got it.
Yeah. But no, I mean, go and meet him outside the FIA garage, drinks and kit and, in moments like that, we probably don't say too much. That sort of qualifying where, you're thinking Ferrari are bloody quick and they're probably going to walk away with a race now. On Saturday, we're thinking like it's hard to pass.
Yeah.
If we can get to 5th, that's going to be a really bloody good race.
Yeah.
Obviously, it turned out a lot better for us. But in that moment, those things just need to be processed, and then, they need to head back with the engineers and decide what they're going to do on the next day. So.
On the car.
You've actually got a lot of stuff that goes into your job because you're managing like emotions as well with that guy.
It's the nature of sport. Sport doesn't come without emotions. You have the ups and downs, the highs and the lows, and. I think it's fine to have all of those. It's always, how you bounce back from that and keep things flexible that you can cope and bounce back with it as well. So, yeah.
Do you feel a lot of pressure on your shoulders, like doing the job that you do?
I mean, if you mess something up, then you're potentially losing a race win from that. Mess a bit of kit up, helmet or whatever, or. Something happens and Max doesn't go into the race in the right frame of mind or whatever, but he's an easy one to work with in that sense because he has such a strong mindset and again, probably the reason why we get on so well is we come from very similar backgrounds with that. You know, we both love to win. We're both competitive as hell, and it just works. I've seen other relationships within the paddock where, you know, some drivers do bad on a Saturday and that's their weekend done. There's no way they're going to bounce back on the Sunday because it's too hard for them to
mental
process
games,
it.
man.
Whereas, you know, we can deal with it, put it away, and move on, and just decide on what the next target's going to be.
Yeah. You said if you make a mistake, it can mess up the whole race, like a wrong visor or anything. Have you ever done anything that has messed up the whole race for Max?
Not the whole race. No, I've had a few hairy moments.
What's the worst?
It's two things the same time both times, and it's leaving. There's a safety strip on the inside of a visor, and
what's that?
It's like an anti-fog strip.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've seen it on the outside, and they like rip it off, didn't they?
So that's a tear off. So
makes sense.
The tear offs are, you know, if you get a stone that hits your visor and it chips it, you can tear the bit of plastic off.
Oh, so it actually stays on for the race? Cause
you've got 9 tear offs on there. You tear it off and you've got a clean visor. So if then that gets dirty, they tear it off, clean visor.
There's 9 of them?
Yeah, there's 9 of them on there.
Oh, shit.
So the anti-fog strip on the inside, if you leave that on, they can't see through the visor.
You left it on?
I left it on.
Amazing! What, for like practice or something?
Yeah. Just before we went out for quali.
Oh, before quali.
So I'm there. Literally, everyone's waiting just to let him out of quali. And, you know, it's counting down. The clock's counting down. He needs to get out and do his lap. And I'm there with a pair of scissors trying to, like, scrape, because it's very hard to get if you haven't done it before you put the visor on. They're trying to scrape it off with a pair of scissors and try and just catch the end so I can pull it off. Oh, we lost like 30 seconds, like going out of the box at quali. Probably another 15 more seconds. We wouldn't have had time for a lap.
I bet you still come first though, didn't he?
Don't think he did at that time.
We'll just say he did.
Top three.
Wow, what a crazy story.
Yeah, diet must be like a big thing as well. Like if he was like 2/10 off the pace and then you realise, I gave him that chocolate bar before the race. Like, does that kind of shit happen as well?
Yeah, it's a kilo relates to 2 or 3 temps. So kilo overweight would relate to about 2 or 3 temps. 2 or 300. Sorry, 2 or 300.
Wow.
So it's small margins, but it matters.
Yeah.
I remember in Russia 2020, I think, we were beaten to pole by 200ths of a second. So if he was overweight at that time, then it could have come down to that. We weren't, so it was good. But
yeah, we see them like always weigh them after the race and stuff. Why do they weigh them after the race?
So there's a regulation on what the weight can be. So driver plus kit plus the seat needs to be 80 kilos. If you're underweight, i.e. driver, seat and kit comes in at 75 kilos, then the engineers have to put 5 kilos of ballast into the car. So it's even for everybody.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's ballast?
We've spoke about this before. We were like, "What's ballast?" And I was like, "Oh, they just chuck some sand." Like,
is this where I thought they
sandbag.
actually put sandbags?
If you're a labourer, like ballast is like stone and sand together. So yeah, I just like they're just chucking
People
a few
rinse
stones
me for
down.
that. I was saying that they'd actually just get a sandbag and put it in. We've been rinsed quite a lot recently.
So they can put the weight kind of almost where they like.
Yeah.
They can position it a little bit nicely for where they want it to be. But yeah, it basically takes it away from drivers being underweight for performance reasons.
Okay.
So basically, your kit weighs, so the seat weighs 1.5 kilos, kit weighs about 4.5 kilos. So a driver's weight can be 74.5 kilos. There's no benefit for a driver to be 60 kilos versus 70 kilos.
Yeah.
Because they're going to put the stuff in.
Put it in there.
Yeah.
Whereas before, there was a big benefit from a driver being 60 kilos rather than 70 kilos. So you had drivers starving themselves, sitting in saunas.
Oh, shit.
It's lap time.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's more lap time. So
How long ago
they
was
had the
that?
same thing in horse racing, didn't they, where jockeys try and be as low a weight as possible, but now they have weight restrictions there as well. So
when did they introduce the ballast then to the cars?
Oh, I'm not sure. It was before my time. But
Were you
it
into
was only
Formula-
it was only in like the last 10 years, so it was a fairly recent thing.
Were you into Formula One before you got this job?
Absolutely not.
I love that.
That's
like us. We've been well, not like us because you work with the world champion. Not cooler job, but like
we will one day. We'll have him on. We'll have Max out there.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Yeah. That would be ledge. Yeah, like we're learning as well.
Yeah,
there's a lot for you to learn.
I was Googling who Max Verstappen was at the airport whilst I was going to meet him.
No.
Wow.
So was it like a bit of like a crazy last minute thing that you?
Yeah, it came around quick. Obviously, they finished the season and then they were sorting it out after that. So I think last race in Abu Dhabi was probably like the 5th or 6th of December at that time.
Yeah.
And I think I met him on like the 16th. So
Of course, you've only got 3 or 4 months until the season kicks off.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, it was literally that. So I was in Monaco, I think the 4th or 5th of January, ready to start pre-season from that time. I don't know if you remember in Baku last year, he was wearing a blue pair of pair of boots. You can check back and do that. But that was basically because we were sent the wrong size boots, and we borrowed off of someone in F2.
Oh really? Like the same size boot. I wonder who that was.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, same size boot. It was Liam Lawson.
So were you running around trying to find someone?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, the thing was, can I get Max's boots out here? Baku's a tricky place to get to, so like the last of the flights really had gone, because if there was a flight, they would have put someone on the flight with the boots to come out and hand them over, but we just couldn't make it work, so we had to find an alternative.
The next best thing.
I like
some
that.
pre-owned boots.
Yeah.
I like how everything in Formula One seems so streamlined and perfect, but then every now and then you have those little bits where it's like.
That's what I love about this pod, though, because we're going to get people on and give people the opportunity to talk about it.
Yeah.
And like just get these. We seem to get like exclusives out of random people, like just cool things.
Yeah, every guest that we've had on, we've had like an exclusive story that they've not told anyone else. So if there is anything,
crazy,
Well, I'm not sure about that.
All right, we won't.
What was the party like after Abu Dhabi last year?
The party was pretty spectacular. Yeah. We were. We started off at the main hotel at the track, the W. So like an outdoor party, a couple of drinks there, and then we moved to the Red Bull yacht. And
Oh yeah,
it was
just the Red Bull yacht.
That's where the real party started.
I think we all got off the yacht around 7 a.m. and
Do you know what cracked me up is that recent video? It was at Checo won Monaco, and he's coming off the boat and he's really drunk.
Yeah,
absolutely died at that clip.
Yeah, there was a few news bits around that, wasn't there?
Yeah. No, but to me, it's important because it shows like, and Drive to Survive has done the same for the sport as well. These people are human.
Yeah.
Like before the sport, like you never, and I don't know. I just don't think the people ever felt like real people, the drivers, because you never saw anything about them. But when you do get little glimpses of like, oh yeah, he's actually just a normal bloke.
Yeah, I think with Drive to Survive, no one really knew that there was like stories within the paddock, did they?
No.
It was, you turn up at weekend, you drive a car around the track, and you go home. Like no one really kind of knew all this stuff was going on. So yeah, it's been super cool for the sport. Really has been.
We've noticed that F1, like the paddock's quite.
We'll be back as well. We're in it next year.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because didn't Max set it out the last one?
Yeah, he set out the last two.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're back.
I think we might be in it as well because we've been lingering about the paddock when the cameras have been going.
Yeah, we've been wandering around the camera every time we see it.
Yeah.
But
what race was you at?
We've been to
Imola, Barcelona and Silverstone.
Okay, wicked.
And somehow we've managed to get in the paddock every time. So
every time we find a way in.
That's cool.
Even if we have to sneak in, but we won't talk about that.
That's the funny story. We were sat on a balcony talking about this last night. It feels like us coming into the paddock, the first time was a bit of a surreal experience because we were like, we're just two lads, started a podcast. What the hell are we doing in the paddock? But you walk up and down, and obviously you've got Mercedes and Red Bull down the other end, and they're like the big dogs. And like we managed to get into a few of the other paddocks, like we've been like Alpine, Williams and stuff. But every time we walk past the Red Bull, it's just like this fortress that we feel like we haven't got access to yet.
Yeah, we always walk past it and we want to go in. We just haven't. We don't know anyone at Red Bull. We know you now.
Next time, give me a call and you can come and grab a Red Bull.
Here we go.
We actually won't let that one slip. Damn,
it's recorded as well, isn't it?
He's like, guys, I'm with Max. Like, yeah, you did say though. You did say.
It's such a cool looking motorhome time as well. It looks ledge. It's like a castle, isn't it?
Yeah, they're all massive. I don't know how they move all that.
Yeah, would you have seen
around.
that really big one? Yeah, that was an Imola. Yeah. You would have seen the massive one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have a couple of different specs that we run, but for the main races, it's like 4th floor, huge building. But
4 floors.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Blimey. Hopefully we get to go on that one.
Yeah, hopefully.
You have any more races planned?
We're going to Abu Dhabi?
We're going to Abu Dhabi. Yeah.
Oh, we're giving loads of exclusive away to the audience now. It shouldn't know that.
Oh, yeah.
Should we we'll bleep us what we said.
Okay, we're also going to Dutch Grand Prix, I think.
Yeah, wicked.
Yeah.
That is proper cool.
Can't wait for
That
that.
is proper cool.
Is that a good one?
The atmosphere around that is just unreal. Like, the only way I can describe it. So, I've only done Formula 1 for 3 years. It's not my sport. There's guys there that have done it for 25 years, and they turn around and say they've never seen an atmosphere like Holland last year.
Wow.
And it was only 70% full last year for fans because it was still kind of coming out of COVID.
Mm-hmm.
So this year it's 100%. And the only way I can describe it, because I'm a football fan as well, the only way I can describe it is a huge, European Champions League semi-final night,
My
second
God.
leg, you're 2-0 down. It is that.
It's gonna be unbelievable. I'm gonna get so drunk.
That's the great thing about what we do.
Yeah,
is we
we
can
can
drink
get
during the
away with
day.
it.
Yeah, I can't, but
we just drink, then we have party the whole time.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, when
Yeah.
we were in Imola, we got on Ted's notebook.
Okay,
And we
cool.
were already like 3/4 of the
Who's
way.
these two jokers?
We had no idea we were going on it. We'd done 2 bottles of wine at lunch, gin and tonics, everything, and then
Wow.
our manager was like, "Oh yeah, do you want to go on Ted's notebook?" And we literally had to walk over there, and we were like, "Okay,
That's class.
all right."
Brilliant.
We're standing there like melons, so scared on camera for the first time.
Yeah.
It feels like ages ago now.
It does feel like ages ago now, because now we feel like we're actually welcomed in the paddock a bit more. We see people
Yeah.
seem to know who we are. Did
Yeah,
you
I was
know
at
who
race-
who we were before we kind of got this going?
I did not. No, I do now.
That's interesting.
That's good. That's a
Yeah,
good
I
thing.
like it. I like hearing who does and who doesn't, and where, because we had a Formula E driver on the other day, and he was
Okay.
saying like all their media team people knew us. So it's like really interesting to
Nice.
just hear who's spoken about or what, because we've had different guests from different places.
Yeah.
Like Will Buxton.
Yep.
He was our first ever guest, and
Okay,
like, he like gambled on us from the beginning. Like came on
Yeah.
before we'd even started really. So it's just ledge that now we like see him and we're like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Ultimately,
nice.
it's nice to have like people we know, so we
Yeah.
can get into Red Bull.
There you go.
That's it. Red Bull is the key. We have a lot of people message us, like fans and that, and they say like, we would love to work in the Formula One at some point. So from your point of view, do you have any advice or anything for people who would love to actually work in the sport?
Yeah, it's tough. I guess depends from what angle you're coming at. There's obviously a lot more
There's so many
opportunities
different
from
angles, yeah.
mechanics, engineering side. It's not a straightforward process, but if you go to university, you do an engineering degree, you get a internship or placement at a team, and you work your way up there. To work in sort of my side is probably a little bit trickier in the performance field. An easier way in, if you're a physiotherapist, would probably be try to become the physio of a team itself, or working at the factory, or something along those lines. You can start off at Formula 3 teams or go-kart, any grassroots sort of level stuff that you can do. To work up to a performance coach for a Formula 1 driver, that's
It's very much the top of the tree. I mean, there's only 20
it is. I mean,
Formula
if you
1
think of
drivers.
Formula 1 drivers, to become a Formula 1 driver, there's only 20 in the world.
Yeah.
So there's also only 20 performance coaches in the world that can do that job too. So I guess, the only advice I've got is you got to work really hard, become as good as you can at what you do. You probably need to be dual qualified. So I'm a physio and I'm a strength and conditioning coach, and I've got a sports science degree. You've got strength and conditioning coaches that are sports masseuses and sports scientists as well. So everybody's got a couple of things to their bow, because you're essentially a travelling one-man band. You need to be able to do everything required for that driver. Of course, you can have outsourced resources, nutritionists on hand to talk through or whatever.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, you're with them, and you need to be able to cover all bases. You can work in any sport. Look at me. I didn't do Formula 1 before, but I've worked in professional football, I've worked in professional basketball, I've worked with Team GB. And then I've found myself into Formula One. So, and it probably won't be the last sport I work in.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah, do you see yourself at Formula One for the foreseeable now, or do you think?
I don't know. A few more years left in me yet. We'll just see how it goes year by year. No comment.
Where do you go after Formula One? You'd be training like astronauts next.
What
else could you do?
I mean, it'd probably just be a different sport. I think, and probably a lot of people, you have people that spend a lot of time in Formula One, but at the end of the day, if you've got family and stuff, the travel is a lot. And if they're going to add more races next year, there's potentially 24, 25 races next year. That's half your weekends of the year that you're traveling away. I miss a lot of weddings and nights out with the boys and that sort of thing. And what I do is super cool. Can't take that away from that, but you miss that normal stuff as well.
Yeah, because you just can't. You can't ever just call in sick for this job.
No,
you couldn't just turn around on a week. What would happen if you were?
Oh my god, it's not Mackies.
Have you ever actually been ill on a weekend and someone's had to be a cover performance coach?
So our team physio has stepped in a couple of times when I haven't been around. Most notably when my little girl was born.
Congratulations!
So thank you. That was last year actually.
Cool.
Between Imola and Portugal. But even then, it was only for a day. So he covered Friday, and I was back there on the Saturday.
Blimey, brutal.
And then flew home a few days, and then back out. So she was born, and I was back racing 4 days later.
Crazy.
That's nuts. That's
but that's the life.
Make,
so if a Formula One driver is ill or they have a kid, or they're not going to miss a race, are they?
No,
that's true.
Not going to miss out on 20.
And if they do, you could step
points.
in and race the car.
Maybe.
Maybe it would be a job.
We miss a race last year, we lose the championship.
Yeah, true.
Wow, when you put it like that.
Yeah.
Do you think Red Bull have it in the bag this year?
No, not yet. There's a long way to go. There's 9 races to go. If we have 3 DNFs, then that's game back on. It's a good lead. But we haven't been the quickest car at any race yet. We've struggled our way through. We've won races because other teams have messed up.
Yeah.
So, Ferrari. Exactly. But you look at that run of, I think it was 5 or 6 races that we won, and you go through it. Monaco, Barcelona. Yeah. Ferrari should have won those, but we ended up winning them. So we can't say it's over yet. We're in a really strong position, but there's still a long way to go. Ask me again in Austin.
Yeah. Oh, we really want to go to that.
We really want to go
That's
to
a cool
Austin.
one.
Desperately want to go there. We're trying to look at like all the flights and that, but when we're only 5 months in, we need to start earning a bit more money from this. So we've got the money to be able to go to these places.
Yeah.
Because blimey, did we spend a lot of money in Barcelona?
Yeah, we spent some
sorts.
It came to the last night, and we had I think it was like 800 quid between us, and we were like, oh, it's our last night. The whole lot was gone.
Oh my god, our manager was not happy, was she?
No.
She's going to be listening to C-Van. We've just admitted that. Oh shit! Sorry.
Bleep that one out as well.
Oh man.
But yeah, Austin's a really good one to go to. That's definitely worth it. I like all the American ones actually. I like America, but there's always a big show around it. There's always plenty to do. So
Vegas is going to be nuts next year, isn't it? That's going to be
Vegas
a party
well.
for the boys,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, you got to get all your boys out to that one. I suppose you won't be able to go out anyway.
Wow.
The whole time you're like, stay a couple of extra days. Maybe.
Well, the party never stops in Vegas. You could go out Sunday night and it would still be a ripper.
There we go. Sunday night after we win.
Yeah,
I like that. I love it.
And we're going to be there for sure.
Oh, we'll be there.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Well, next year's going to be decent, man. Can't wait.
I noticed you bought your bag as well. That looks like it might have some training equipment in it.
I've got a few bits with me here. A few little reaction games for you boys to try. See, we'll measure you against Max's scores.
Oh, that's so cool, isn't it?
3 hours sleep last night as well. I'm going to be horrendous.
We're going to be absolutely awful. But yeah, we'll put them videos on our Instagram and our TikTok. Brad, thank you very much for joining us on the podcast.
No worries, it's been good fun.
There'll be another guest on Monday morning. And we'll see you guys then.
See you then, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Brad, thanks for being here. It's been a pleasure.
You guys. Appreciate
See you
it.
later.